Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for being here today. It's so lovely. Yes, well, today, of course, I'm going to be speaking about this Meghan Markle launch of her Netflix show with Love Meghan, and giving you my thoughts on the matter, giving you my thoughts on how this is all wrong. And you know, everything that we're watching right now with Meghan, we are literally watching a repeat, a visual version of Archetypes. We saw how Archetypes ended with Spotify. That's how it's going to end with Netflix, okay? Unless there's some surprise, magical change of how all of this is going to be done by her, it's going to be what it is. And it's going to be exactly what happened with Archetypes. I'm going to tell you right now my point of view on the whole matter. I'm going to have to do several episodes on this because there's a lot of different angles, folks. And this is just the beginning. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. We know that this is a couple that is starting to do things differently. They're separate. And what I believe Meghan is doing, this is her attempt to be completely separate from Harry professionally. Because if we look at what Harry talked about when he was in New York City, when it comes around social media, the whole idea that in 2022, Meghan got this handle for Instagram, didn't post anything on it, knew that she was going to post on this Instagram. And Harry and they're going around talking about the ill ways of social media and trying to pump up their brand around all the harms of social media. Shows you they have no direction. Harry is going here, she's going there. And this is just Meghan preparing herself to be completely done with Harry, independent. But it's not going to pan out the way she wants. There's just so much to talk about here. So if we look at what Harry was talking about in this video, he talks about how he wants accountability for the social media platforms. Okay, Facebook being one of the big ones. And, you know, Facebook really is not used as much by youth. It's mostly used by the more elderly people, okay? But what is used mostly by younger people is Instagram, which is also owned by Facebook. Like, they're all connected. And Harry talking about accountability for these social media platforms. And what happens? His wife is preparing to launch a social media platform on Instagram. And she launches this video with her on the beach frolicking and doing what she's doing and hand drawing this 2025, and then seeing that she has already done this several times. You see the 2025 already in the sand. Like, there is nobody that is guiding this whole revamp. The mistakes that were made even in the launch, when she launched it initially on Instagram, the trailer for the show with Love Meghan, it was not in the right format. It was blurry. But then 20 minutes later, she has to relaunch it. It's like she made a mistake even in doing that. Like, I can see someone like myself doing this, but you are the Duchess. You are the one attached to the royal family. You have millions of dollars in the bank, and you're making these kind of mistakes. That says so much about who you have working behind you. You don't have the team you need to be successful. That's what it says to me. He doesn't really care about social media platforms being accountable. They're just trying to make people who say negative things about them accountable. This is why Meghan has not turned on the comments for her Instagram, because she doesn't want to listen to what people have to say about her. Because think about it. Think about this. This is how I know it's not going to go well for her. This whole Netflix thing is just going to be a big bomb like archetypes. Okay, you hear me? Okay, it's just a visual version of archetypes. But how I know it's not going to go well, when you are out the gate getting ready to launch a project, and you know you have a lot of not nice comments coming your way, like you know people are going to definitely say nasty things about you. I'm sorry, there's just a lot of people out there that are just going to just really eat this woman alive when she puts anything out there. When you are launching something on the back of the fact that you are not going to be well received, that's what it's going to be. She's just following through with it because she's got some money from Netflix and she has to do it. Meghan is too busy trying to make money. She doesn't care about the accountability. They want to make it and play on it as if they need social media platforms to be accountable because they're sick of getting people bashing them because they're a bunch of just spoiled, rotten brats who want to get whatever they want, and they don't want to have people saying anything negative about what they're trying to do because it's all about them getting what they want. And they need the public, they need the people, the masses to get what they want. And this is why it's just not going to happen. And Harry is in a losing battle because now his wife is all in on social media. I mean, she is all in, folks. She is all in. And you just look, this is supposed to be the humanitarian. This is supposed to be the woman who is out there to vouch for people in the underserved populations wearing her 53,000 pounds worth of jewelry and clothing. She's so out of touch with everything that she is doing. Everything that we have seen from when they left the United Kingdom has really come down to this moment. These things that we're seeing. These are all the things that she's been planning. This has been the MO from the beginning. We did not see any big celebrities in that trailer that she released. All you saw was a bunch of fluff. You saw a bunch of pretty things. You saw very well manicured hair and hands and well put together clothes, highly produced, so Hollywood and so well controlled and not very well relatable. And it reminds me a lot of Emma. If you look at the cooking show that Emma has done, that's been around for about 9 years now, it's very similar to that. And also Joanna Gaines. Like, these are things that have been around for a long time. If you're going to be successful, you're going to just have a different approach. You're going to do something completely different to what has already been out there. You're just regurgitating something that people already see and can get from other people who actually have a connection to what they're doing. You were a duchess. What in the world are you doing in the kitchen cooking up some frumpets? She's put herself in a very high-priced environment that's not relatable to people, because when you see her, you look at somebody who is just playing a part. She's pretending. She's playing fairy tale. I mean, she's trying to be similar to Martha Stewart, Gwyneth Paltrow, Joanna Gaines, Emma Thin Marchioness of Bath. She's trying to emulate other people. There's no originality. Why would people want to watch you do it? They're going to binge watch hate on this, Meghan, and she knows it. This is why she's not putting on the comments, because she knows people are not going to. She even said it herself, any and everything that she does is never going to be well received. This is how you know it's not going to go well for her, because out the gate, people know her story from what she talked about on the Netflix documentary, how she mocked the Queen. That was her downfall right there. When she mocked the Queen, that was the most horrendous thing she could have done. We know her from the books that Omid Scobie has written, because we know she's had a hand in all of that. We know her wanting to play the victim. We have her whole backstory. We know how she treats her father. We know how she has treated her husband's family. We know how she's treated her siblings. We understand who this woman is and how she has bullied her staff. There's a plethora of things of this backstory of Meghan that we have prior to the launch of this Netflix show. And these things that we know about her have a big hand into how well she'll be received on this Netflix. She's not coming into it with a clean slate and fresh from the UK as a working royal. She's coming with a lot of baggage. And that baggage plays a heavy hand in your branding, because who you are as a person, individual, plays a lot into your branding and what it is that you are creating. And we see it's not a perfect picture, Meghan. Why are you trying to create a cooking show with gardening and eating with friends and making things to, elevate them, when we know you are the complete opposite of that? Your life is chaotic in that you have no direction on what you are trying to do. You are simply trying to make a lot of money, and we know this as the backstory. So this is the foundation in which she is starting. That is going to be the reason why it's going to be another archetype. Several months before this came out, there were a lot of the problems that she had with getting people to even come on the show. There were talks about how she went through a lot of different chefs that were to appear on the show because she was trying to show them what to do, but they're the ones with the culinary experience. They're the ones that she should have listened to, but she didn't want to listen to them. So she went through a different people. She couldn't get the high celebrities. I mean, I would think if people like Oprah or Tyler Perry or Gayle King, if these people were going to be a part of the show, they would have been in that trailer to draw people in. You didn't see any high profile celebrities. You didn't see Kerry Washington. You didn't see anybody that was a high profile person. I think that Molly girl was the only one, the one that was on The Office, but these other people like Abigail Spencer and the wife of Nacho, like these are just your same friends that you're recycling. She has like a little pool of friends and she just go, okay, we go. This is my pool of friends. This is who I can reach out to right here. And all the things and connections that we've seen her have, these are people that don't want to do business with her, because the minute they do, their value and branding will fall because Meghan is toxic. We know the backstory. And that's how you can tell the potential success of this show. It's not going to have the success she needs to elevate. This is what came out a while ago when this whole thing with the chefs happened. They were saying that she was very upset with what is happening with the American Riviera. She's not happy about how it's been received. She wasn't happy with the jam. She saw herself as a laughingstock. She sent it off to about 50 people, and only a few of them replied with the request to promote it on their social media. People are staying away from her, and she only has this small pool of friends that she continues to recycle over and over again. She's extremely meticulous about every detail, and that is the problem. Everything has to be overly manufactured and purdy, and it's not resonating with people in the times that we're living in. We're in a financial crisis. People are having trouble buying food and maintaining their lifestyles and living. And what do we have here? We have this super pretentious woman in her bougie clothes, in her bougie kitchen with a 15,000 pound stove that she's cooking on. She's not even cooking in her own home. She's not even in her own garden. Everything is fake and manufactured. We know the backstory. This is why it won't succeed. We see through it. We don't look and say, oh, isn't that so nice? That's Princess Diana's daughter-in-law. She used to be in the royal family. Now she got her own cooking show. Isn't that so nice? That's so nice. Yeah, that could have been the speaking narrative in the beginning. But this woman has shown her draws. She has shown herself. She didn't let everyone see what a nasty and manipulative person she is. We know the backstory of who this woman is, who is trying to pretend to be a very perfect, shiny, beautiful show of cooking that is going to be inspirational, and we're going to learn so much from her. No, we're not. We're going to be looking at you like, did you call your daddy? Do you know what you did to the king and the queen in the last years of her life? In the beginning, she was so well received and loved. We know the backstory of this woman. We are not going to go into watching this rooting for you. We are looking at you make a mockery, a fool of yourself, trying to make a life that is pretend. And we know the narrative. Like, she was able to do that when she didn't invite her own family to her wedding and all the celebrities they came. She was able to do that when she was the only one telling the story about who she is and how she met Harry and how she put all these things in the Netflix documentary and in that book, Finding Freedom. And in the Oprah Winfrey interview, she got to tell and make up all these things that she wanted people to believe, the fluff, the fairies. It's several years too late for you now. And now you're going to put out a show to make us believe it's all pretty and you have the great ideas that we should want to support you because of the way it looks and how you want people to believe that you've got it all figured out with all these years of experience. Nuh-uh, we got Martha Stewart for that. We got Joanna Gaines. We got our other friends and celebrities that we like because of their talents. We watch it, the shows and the other things that the celebrities do when they do these cooking type shows is they have the talent of their career. And this is just a little side hustle. Meghan is coming in with something, trying to be the professional, the expert off the bat without the years of experience to give her cred. To give her street cred that she knows what she's talking about. It's interesting that they spent the last several years complaining about social media. This is what this lady, Ray, said. She said that Harry spent a lot of time saying spiteful things, nasty things about Facebook, which is owned by Meta, which is also owns Instagram. People don't quite understand where you're coming from. Now you're telling us to go to social media. Now you're counting the followers. Now you're suddenly all in on the social media that you once said was such a toxic place for people. How do you think that makes Harry feel now? That this is supposed to be the mission to protect people's mental health and to get people off social media. And now here your wife is on social media that she preserved since 2022. They're no longer aligned in purpose. They are so divided in their structure, their branding, that it's just an insight into what it's like in the personal marriage of this couple. Because she's going this way and Harry is going this way. This is a couple that is divided. So how does it work itself out when he's doing one thing that she's completely going against now? I love what Meghan McCain said. I think Meghan McCain, when she talked about this whole trailer of Meghan and what she is doing, I think she hit it on the head. And there are some things that she said that I'd like to respond to, because I think it gives a really good picture of what Meghan is doing and what she's trying to get people to see and why we know it's not going to be well received. So all in all, when we look at this new Netflix show that's going to be coming out January 15th, we look at it in anticipation, those of us who follow this, not people who would just naturally be drawn, because I think a lot of people just won't be drawn to watch it personally. I think it's going to be the exact same thing as Archetypes. Is going to fall flat because people are going to be disgusted with her trying to curate this perfect life of very expensive everything, highly produced Hollywood type show that is out of touch with real people. People want real talk. People want people who are down to earth and able to connect. And Meghan is not able to connect. She disconnects. That's what she's known for. We see her disconnect from people. We see her play the victim. We see her treat people horribly. We see her try to brand off of the backs of other people's suffering. We see this. This is what her brand has been leading up to this show. And this is why the show will not do well, because we know Meghan's backstory. She's not a clean slate. It really comes back down to what I've said before, and it's like another episode of the soap opera, The Imitation of Royal Life. We're watching you, Meghan, in your new episode of going on Netflix with your show with Love, Meghan, and we sit and we watch and we get our popcorn and we just, okay, what you gonna do now, girl? What you gonna do? Because we see the show and we know it's a disaster, and we watch it with anticipation to understand, why do you keep trying to pull the wool over people's eyes if you are one thing, when we know the reality is a completely different story. We know who this person truly is. We have seen her time and time again try to tell us one thing with the pretty pictures and flowers and cooking show and highly produced things. But we have seen and we know who she is. You know, and that's what we see. We see a person who is trying to curate a perfect life, a pretend life that doesn't have true friendships, that doesn't really have real family, that is a very distant person, not a very humble person, but wants always the finer things of life. But the finer things of life don't have a price tag. And those are the things that Meghan needs to learn how to be in touch with. But she's so drawn to the physical, pretentious, high-cost life that she'll never be in touch with what is truly meaningful. And that's why it won't work, because we see it. We know Meghan Markle's backstory.